Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give you a guarantee off the start of this video. I guarantee that you have not seen the fractal that I'm going to be showing you in this video before. And that's because I literally just thought of it. It popped into my head as I was looking at the local Bitcoin structure just a few hours ago. I haven't seen it anywhere before on YouTube, on Twitter. I really doubt that you have either. And it could potentially tell us what will happen to Bitcoin in the coming days. The fractal I'm going to show you could be something you absolutely need to see. After I show you that fractal, I'm also going to dive into an Ethereum analysis. Ethereum's looking very strong right now. It looks like Ethereum is going to continue outperforming the rest of the market. And I'll also get into a broader altcoin market analysis and look into the chances that altcoins could catch up. So that will be the second part of the video. Should be very brief, only a couple of minutes of things to say there. But the main bulk of this video is going to be Bitcoin related, showing you that fractal. Before we get into that, guys, I really appreciate it if you check out the Bitunix Exchange. A lot of people ask me what exchange I use as a trader. I use the Bitunix Exchange, and I don't have a contract with them. I haven't signed anything with them. I don't work for them. I advertise them on my own accord. With my referral link down below, you can get a 15% trading fee discount permanently attached to your account, as well as up to 8,000 USDT in rewards just by signing up with my link down below. Why would you sign up? Well, it's global, it's non-KYC, it's never been hacked before, it's got all of the functions and pairs that you would expect for a major exchange. For that reason, I use it. And I implore you to consider using it as well. Sign up with my link to help out the channel, help out yourself. Cheers. Right, before we get into the fractal, I'm just going to outline a couple of things just to get them out of the way. The levels that matter right now on Bitcoin on a macro scale are 110,000, which is the prior resistance zone, which currently is support. That's also where the volume profile starts stacking upwards. You can see the volume profile beginning to stack upwards there. As long as Bitcoin is above 110,000, I think we're in a relatively safe position. And there is resistance on Bitcoin at around 124,000, which is slowly moving upwards. That comes from the power law chart. You can see that resistance line there in green. And it also comes from this major logarithmic regression channel, which is based on angles. You can see the angle of ascension between tops and bottoms from cycle to cycle are halving each time. There's the exact angle numbers that I'm circling right here on the screen. If we extrapolate that trend forward, we can see the angle of resistance should be at about $124,000 right now. So just getting that out of the way to start the video, because I think that's incredibly important. I don't think that Bitcoin has made a proper macro decision until either $124,000 slightly moving upwards, maybe it's 125 by the time we get there, or 110,000 breaks to the upside or to the downside. That is kind of the bare bones 101 Bitcoin analysis. And with that said, we can move into the fractal analysis. I'll just add one more note there. Breaking 110,000 wouldn't mean a bear market. It would just mean that Bitcoin is in danger. Right, let's get into the fractal. So by now, I would be pretty shocked if you weren't familiar with the line on Bitcoin that goes right backwards to 2017. It cuts across the 2021 all-time highs, as you can see. It also cuts across some highs we made late last year and early this year in January. Back here, you can see where I'm circling right now. And you can see also that it's still acting as a major level for both resistance and support as we speak here today. And you can see that on both a level from last month, throughout July, we held it for support. We were bouncing from that level, rejecting from 124, kind of cramped between those two zones. And now we dropped below it and we've actually come back above it and we're retesting it for support right now as we speak. So you're thinking at this point, well, what's the fractal, Wolf? That's just a basic line analysis. I'll tell you what the fractal is. I was looking at these charts earlier today. I was zooming in. I was looking at the 4-hourly chart more specifically. And I was just looking at the structure we have here. What do we have? We have consolidation, right? We have expected macro resistance. A lot of people expected just to break that macro resistance given the fact we got above this major line. But instead of doing that, we went downwards. We formed kind of a cup formation bottom. And now we're coming back upwards and seeing a potential resistance support flip from that line again, and hopefully a spike to the upside. That, in my view, looks almost identical to what we saw at the start of this year. Now you're probably thinking, what am I talking about? Right, we had, I don't know if you remember this, but I discussed it so many times in the YouTube channel. We had a resistance line at the start of this year and late into last year that goes right backwards from March 2024. It kind of cut across the price action a little bit like this. And you can see we broke above that level after some brief stagnation. We found that for support for a long period of time, okay? We finally broke down below it. It was very unexpected to break down below that because you have to remember, guys, at this point we had seen a consolidation from November all the way through to February, a 3-month, almost 4-month consolidation in what was meant to be a aggressive macro bull market, it was very unlikely at that point in the minds of many people for us to break downwards. But we did break downwards, okay? And we broke downwards, and just like what we've seen on a shorter term time frame in relation to this line from 2017, we broke downwards. We saw a cup formation. We broke back up that cup formation. We broke back up the major resistance line, and we saw a brief consolidation on that resistance line for a flip of support before moving upwards into an aggressive move once more. And that takes us to where we are right now. In my view, we are doing the exact same thing. Furthermore, okay, just as 110,000, as I've discussed before, is kind of the major level that matters right now, and you can see that $110,000 resistance, okay, around there somewhere, right? You can also see the same kind of similar level, kind of resistance zone horizontally at around 72,000 that we almost tested for support, just like we've done right now with 110,000. Furthermore, the structure through which that support zone was formed in 2024 was kind of this descending channel formation, and we've got this exact same kind of structure going on, or a very similar structure going on back here where we formed the 110,000 zone, a descending channel formation. So let's go over the similarities. Starting from left to right, right? This is 2024. We have the descending channel or something resembling it formation, right? We've got that here on the 4-hourly chart, descending channel formation or something resembling it. We have the horizontal level of support, which was the be all end all that we needed to hold. Exactly the same thing right now, 110,000, we need to hold it, horizontal level of support. We also have the major uptrending resistance and support line in yellow, same thing, major uptrending resistance and support line in yellow. We broke above that resistance line. We held it for support for a significant period of time. Exact same thing right here, just on a more local time frame. We dropped below it. We then saw a cup formation bottom and got back above it. Same thing right here, cup formation bottom, got back above it. And we consolidated on that level for a period of time before moving upwards again. We are consolidating on that level right now as we speak, and hopefully we'll move upwards again from here. So relatively convincing fractal, but I have to layer of nuance, okay? This could fall apart tomorrow. And that's the thing with fractals. Like, although, you know, all of this looks similar and it all looks relatively convincing, or at least I think it does, right? Fractals can just be wrong. They can just be yourself either playing a psychological trick on yourself, or it can just be that the fractal has worked up until this point, but breaks now, right? You don't have to see fractals go all the way through. Perhaps the fractals already worked all the way up until this point and now it will break. And it's just, we've caught it too late and it doesn't mean anything to us. And that's why I actually, even though I think this is interesting enough to, you know, make a segment of my video here today, I don't think you should actually do anything with the information. I literally think it's just for entertainment purposes and purposes on basically you potentially knowing what's going on here when other people don't. Overall, you know, as interesting as it is, I still think the levels that matter are 110,000 and 124,000 on Bitcoin. Nothing will change that. But this fractal certainly does give a kind of air of optimism in my view. And again, I just don't think you've seen it before. I think it's worth seeing. So let's move on to the second segment of the video now that we've got through that. It's Ethereum. Ethereum is looking exceptional, guys. There's no other way to put it. I think that if Bitcoin continues upwards, I think Ethereum will continue outperforming Bitcoin. I really do. I mean, Ethereum is already outperforming Bitcoin massively. It's been doing so for a long period of time. It's up 185%, while Bitcoin's only up 60% from the April lows. It's doing very, very well. We're on the brink here of a breakout from this white resistance line. We're on the brink of a breakout from this triangle formation on the monthly chart RSI. We're on the brink of breaking our range highs. It just looks great. All we need is one little nudge in the right direction. We need to break those range highs, and then I do expect Ethereum to continue upwards quite dramatically, especially if it's supported by a macro Bitcoin move. Ethereum BTC, a chart that measures the strength of Ethereum against Bitcoin, is in an aggressive upwards trend after breaking upwards on the weekly chart from a triangle and also from a resistance line going backwards 3 years, looking very good, 4 years actually, looking very, very good, and just coming to its kind of last point of resistance there before it's basically home free, or at least for a period of time. So, you know, we haven't broken yet. Ethereum is not in an active breakout right now. It may look like it is, but it's actually not. We still need to break these range highs. So be cautious of that. Don't go, you know, selling the kids and buying Ethereum right now today, but certainly be watching for the next trigger. You know, can't say the same thing about the broader altcoin market yet. The Bitcoin dominance chart is on support right now. Hopefully, you know, it will drop downwards below that support, and hopefully we see some bullish altcoin price action in the weeks to come. But as I've established many times in prior videos, I just don't think we're in an altcoin season yet. I don't. I think we are in an Ethereum season. I think that's what all the evidence suggests. And I think it will be very easy to tell when we enter an altcoin season. All we need to see is the total 3 cryptocurrency market cap, which is the altcoin market cap, minus Bitcoin, minus Ethereum. All we need to see is that chart starting to outperform Ethereum. That's it. It's so simple. There's no point even discussing it more than that. In the same way, it became obvious that we were in an Ethereum-dominated market once Ethereum made this first big move here of 98%, while Bitcoin was only upwards like 30, 40%, right? It became very obvious Ethereum was the leader of the market at that point. Once we see the same thing for altcoins, once we see that the total 3 is upwards 50%, while Ethereum's only upwards 20%, or even 15% while Ethereum's upwards 5%, it will be obvious that we're in an altcoin season. It will be obvious it's time to rotate money into altcoins more aggressively. That time is just not right now. It is still an Ethereum-dominated market environment. So that's kind of a broad analysis of the market right now with that new Fractal information. I did say, by the way, I would discuss the global M2 in today's video. I'm going to go ahead and do that tomorrow because I think I've got enough topics here today for you to digest. Let me know what you think, guys. I really appreciate it. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, and also check out the Bitunix Exchange for your own benefit. A lot of people ask me what exchange I use as a trader. I use the Bitunix Exchange, and I don't have a contract with them. I haven't signed anything with them. I don't work for them. I advertise them on my own accord. With my referral link down below, you can get a 15% trading fee discount permanently attached to your account, as well as up to 8,000 USDT in rewards just by signing up with my link down below. Why would you sign up? Well, it's global, it's non-KYC, it's never been hacked before, it's got all the functions and pairs that you would expect for a major exchange. For that reason, I use it. And I implore you to consider using it as well. Sign up with my link to help out the channel, help out yourself. Cheers.